You can win an argument, but you'll almost always lose the person because arguments aren't battles of logic, they're clashes of emotion. And the moment someone feels attacked, their brain stops listening and starts defending today. We'll explore why arguing almost never works and what actually does. Not manipulation, not control, but influence, the quiet kind that earns respect instead of resistance. Why arguing fails. When you argue, your brain releases cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol narrows focus and amplifies threat detection. In simple terms, the other person stops hearing your point and starts protecting their ego. Every human being carries one unspoken rule. I want to feel respected. The moment someone feels wrong, stupid, or cornered, they'll fight to defend that feeling, even if they know you're right. That's why logic often fails, because arguments aren't intellectual, they're emotional. You can't convince a nervous system with facts. The ego trap. The need to win an argument is really the ego trying to feel safe. It's your brain saying, if I lose, I am weak. But the truth is, every argument has two battles, the visible one, words, and the invisible one, emotions. And if you can calm the invisible battle, the visible one ends on its own. People don't change when they're cornered. They change when they feel understood. That's not weakness. That's strategy. Understanding diffuses tension faster than dominance ever could. The psychology of persuasion. There's a psychological principle called reactance. It means when people feel their freedom to choose is threatened, they automatically resist, even if your idea is right. That's why you should, or you need to, rarely works. It triggers reactance, but if you replace command with curiosity, like, what do you think? Or, have you noticed this? You bypass defense and activate openness. You're not forcing agreement, you're guiding reflection. Carnegie said it best. You can't teach a man anything by telling him he's wrong. You teach him by leading him to discover it himself. What works instead? 3 shifts that win without arguing. Shift from convincing to understanding. When tension rises, your first goal isn't to prove a point. It's to make the other person feel heard. Try this line. It sounds like you see it differently. Tell me more about that. It's calm. It's disarming. It lowers defenses and gives you real information to work with. The paradox is, when people feel understood, they become open to understanding you. Shift from statements to questions. Statements close conversations. Questions open them. Instead of saying, you're wrong, say, that's interesting. What makes you think that? You've turned confrontation into collaboration. Now you're on the same side of the problem, not opposite sides of it. When you ask questions, you move from opponent to ally. Shift from winning to connecting. Arguing is about victory. Influence is about connection. If you win the argument but lose the relationship, you've actually lost. But if you stay calm, listen, and respond with empathy, you create an opening that logic alone never could. People rarely remember who was right. They remember who made them feel respected. The real psychology behind it. When you make someone feel safe in disagreement, you re-engage the rational part of their brain, the prefrontal cortex. Safety reactivates logic. Respect restores listening. This is how real influence works, not by overpowering, but by creating the emotional space for clarity to return. That's why calmness is so powerful. It doesn't mean surrender, it means control. You control the tone, the energy, and the outcome, not by force, but by stability. Every argument is an opportunity, not to dominate, but to demonstrate composure. When you stay calm, you teach people that disagreement doesn't equal disrespect. You make communication safer, and that changes the whole dynamic. So next time someone challenges you, don't react to their words. Respond to their emotions because arguments push people away. Understanding pulls them closer, and that's what real influence looks like. You don't need to win arguments to win people. You just need to master emotional awareness. If this helped you, subscribe to Compounding Progress for more calm, science-backed lessons on influence, focus, and personal growth. Because progress doesn't come from proving others wrong. It comes from improving how you connect.